Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Now today I have a discussion video on is REGIELEKI the new Dracovish, and with me today I actually have my boy ThunderBlunder777. We just did a video on his channel with REGIELEKI plus Zoroark, which is actually a pretty legit combination. So Blunder, you can say hi to the people.
What's going on? What's going on? We're here today. You know, I thought REGIELEKI when I first saw it, and I saw that it had no electric moves, right? I thought it was gonna be garbage, but then when Pokemon Scholar, he told me REGIELEKI is just like Dracovish. It opened up my eyes, and then ever since then, I've been at the top of the ladder since, abusing this one simple Pokemon.
So
we're gonna
pyramid scheme aside, like the way he phrased that, like REGIELEKI is actually really cool because if you guys didn't know, its ability Transistor, basically it multiplies the Pokemon's attacking stat by 1.5 while using electric type attacks. Think of it as a choice spec boost. On top of that, you already have a choice specs, and this is very similar to Dracovish, which has a strong jaw boost on its strongest move, Fish's Ren, which also doubles in power when it moves before the opponent, which is great on like choice scarf sets. And then on top of that, you have the choice item boost as well. And very similarly, right, you need REGIELEKI to get rid of the ground type, like Landorus, Swampert, whatever. And with Dracovish, you need to get rid of Seismitoad, or you needed to get rid of Seismitoad, or Gastrodon, or to a lesser extent, Ferrothorn and Toxapex. I think those two could actually be outplayed. And I feel like the damage output and the way you play with them is very, very similar. I think the main difference is that Dracovish can actually click other attacks, but they're not usually as good for the most part. Especially when, like, remember when Seismitoad was around, it would always be paired with Teleport Clef. So you wouldn't be able to chip away at Seismitoad the same way because you can't click Fish's Ren, period. But whereas ground types are way easier to chip away with, I feel. And I want to know your thoughts on that. Yeah,
I think so too. A lot of ground types are easy to take advantage of, right? The only problem, like the only thing that I feel like hinders REGIELEKI, like if it even had like one move, like U-turn or something. The fact that it has Volt Switch is tough because you have to make the full double. But I mean, right, there's a lot of ways to circumvent it. Like with Zoroark, it was really legit because it's one of those Pokemon that forces a situation where you have to go to your ground type. Like you can compare it to Dracovish kind of, but you never saw like Dracovish plus Zoroark.
Yeah,
right.
No.
And it's not because like I mean, Dracovish, yeah, it could get through some of its counters, but there were still things like Toxapex, Max Defense Ferrothorn that would consistently check it in the right circumstances. But in general, it's a lot easier with REGIELEKI because it makes all the offensive Pokemon switch out too, right?
Yeah, because it has a stupid speed tier. That's the big thing. It's faster than Scarfers. Like
exactly, and it's able to 2-hit KO stuff like Ferrothorn too. So if you don't have a ground type, like you can't offensively beat it. They just banned like Genesect and stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. I think Genesect plus even Naganadel, like the snowballing of it getting like beast boost and faster. I think all that stuff actually plays in REGIELEKI's thing. But like, I don't think it's as quote unquote broken as Dracovish was, because a ground type should always be necessary on your team, especially with Tapu Koko coming back, Rotoms being allowed and whatnot. Whereas with Dracovish, it was different because it made a Pokemon like Seismitoad actually viable. And once we saw Dracovish be banned, we saw that Seismitoad dropped down tiers. Like it went all the way down to RU, where it was like number 3 in OU, specifically because it was just such a great check to this Pokemon. And the thing about Dracovish is like it can run Choice Scarf or Choice Ban, but REGIELEKI is also besides the Choice Spec set, it can do things like dual screens, which I think actually plays a big role as well for teams. Like it opened up a lot. So there is a difference between them, but I think just the overall damage that REGIELEKI does is pretty cool. And I love the, I don't think it's restricting either, because like I said, I think a ground type should always be mandatory unless you want to get Volt switched on, period, right? We got Tapu Koko back now, like I said, the Rotoms, and just being able to, we got Electivire, bro. Electivire's here now, but Magnezone as well. Like Magnezone is a huge one, and it's not like ground types are bad, right? Like again, Seismitoad being up there, not that Seismitoad is bad, but Seismitoad is a Pokemon that's a little bit mediocre. It offers Stealth Rock and has the Water Absorb. That's it, right? The electric immunity. Whereas your ground types that you have are always they're not just there to check REGIELEKI, right? Hippowdon is setting up Stealth Rock, Whirlwinding, and walling half the metagame, or the previous metagame. Zygarde can glare and do stuff. Excadrill can Sand Rush Speak or can be a lead. Sand Rush Sweeper can be a lead. Swampert is a new one we have, and I'm actually really liking Swampert too because of the the flip turn momentum, and then like Rhyperior can break through teams on its own instead of stealth rocking, check Heatran and check actual Pokemon. So I feel like it's not restricting in the slightest, but it does punish those offensive builds, just like Scarf Dracovish used to punish offense. Because like you'll see offense without running ground types. Like I think if Zygarde eventually gets banned, and if Landorus Eye eventually gets banned too, like you'll see offense without ground types. And now there's gonna be this new wave where they have to run a ground type.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, like, ground types have always been good, especially now with Landorus and Zygarde back. There's little reason, I guess, not to have a ground type. But Regieleki definitely forces it harder. You can't get away with just by running a bulky grass type.
Yeah.
Like, before Generation 8 even, I ran teams with no ground type, like back in Generation 7. I ran teams with no ground type sometimes, because you could get away with it just by running, like, Heatran, Assault Vest, Tangrowth. Like, sometimes
you'll pivot into later.
Yeah, like, you didn't even need it, because electric types were so weak back then, too. But now, you know, we got this, where Electro Ball does, like, 70% to Ferrothorn. It KOs like neutral anything, right? So
or even rising voltage in terrain.
Yeah, see if you're in terrain as well. And then Tapu Koko also can hit the ground types, right? Because they have to pick. A lot of times you have to switch your Landorus or whatever into Tapu Koko Dazzling Gleam, because you know you can live it, but you have nothing else to switch into the electric move. Then you get taken off like 50-60%, and then later on, you know, Electro Kid will sweep you.
Exactly. I love that I was calling it that. But
that's the thing, man. It's Electro Kid.
Okay. One thing though that I think is important, because like I made a moveset video on this Pokemon, and people were like, "Why are you running max speed on this Pokemon?" I think it's very important on a Pokemon that does insane damage to at best speed tie with opposing Pokemon that do insane damage. Like Regieleki knocks out Regieleki. It's not like when I'm running Bandit or Scarf Dracovish, I'm gonna run 248 speed for the option of being slower, right? You're gonna run max, right? Same thing with Bandit. You're gonna run max. Like, you want that damage output. You want the stronger Electro Ball.
I agree for sure.
Yeah. And I...
Also, just, you outspeed stuff like Scarf Kartana.
Exactly.
+2 Adamant Blaziken, if it gets to that point. Like, you want that. Like, you want the ability. Like, that speed is good. I don't understand the HP either. Because I had a set where I had a max HP, max special attack. And it didn't help me with anything.
Yeah.
Like, I still barely lived attacks. Dude, that thing, like, is not living attacks to begin with. Like, you shouldn't be switching it into attacks to begin with. The most defense, like, I just don't think, because you want to have max speed for the opposing ones. You're right. There's no reason not to have that. I don't think there's any defense you can put that'll like really help you. Most stuff is still going to be knocking that thing out. If you're not killing what's in front of you, you're both switching out.
Exactly. And I mean, I guess the argument with it would be like, hey, I'm using explosion on it, so I want more attack. And I guess that's a fair argument in a sense, but at the same time, like, if your explosion's probably doing like 30% to Landorus, right? If you're exploding on Landorus just so you can break through it, I don't think that's how you use Regieleki. And like, you could use Ancient Power on it too. I've seen someone sweep with like, because the Landorus is like 27%, and they swept it with like Specs Ancient Power. But just like Dracovish, you're clicking your electric move, which is basically all you have in your move pool. And then you have Rapid Spin there for like just in case you need it at a point. And
you know what's crazy? Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
It's crazy that, I mean, I haven't seen 1-0 aura, right, since the game has started, and that makes sense because Coco and this guy have all the hype. But it's interesting because
it's a straight up ball.
Your aura not only takes advantage of priority, but also beats both of those guys. Pretty hard.
Which is really
interesting. And also tech Grass Knot for the Swampers that are on the rise. But I guess that thing gets so owned by Landorus T and Zygarde that there's nothing you can do.
And like
it gets so owned by them.
And if I want double electric as well, I feel like I'll run Coco with Regieleki anyway.
Yeah, like I feel like I'd sooner run Raichu.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's actually a really good one too, because like, not in terms of a Pokemon, but like in terms of a good partner, because it could actually break through everything. You got Focus Blast, has Grass Knot, has Surf, so it's actually a partner that can do it. But I really feel like this mon isn't as skillless as, not that Dracovish was skillless, because there's definitely people who play.
Dracovish was definitely skillless. This one takes more skill than Dracovish, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, this does take more skill than Dracovish. I think that this thing is cool because Rapid Spin at least is like a move, because at least then, if you predict the switch, which is, you know, a lot of time your opponent's forced to switch, you can get the spin off, which is kind of nice, and it's not like broken, because then you're locked into spin, so your opponent gets initiative the next turn. I do like the fact that spin is on it.
One thing that I think makes Regieleki better than Dracovish, at least at wearing down its opponent, even though Dracovish is technically better because it has more attacks, is Stealth Rock. The big thing is that the ground types don't typically run heavy duty boots, right? You got Lando, which is not going to run boots because all it takes is Stealth Rock. So, like, I mean, we've had games where all we had to do was we clicked electric move every single time, and all we had to do was force Landers to come in and in and in. And I've seen people, and it's the same way people dealt with Genesect too, like Rocky Helmets on Pokemon too, just as they're U-turning and doing that chip. So I feel like Regieleki really
always force them on in too, right?
Exactly.
So you can always play off that too.
Yeah, I feel like Regieleki is that mon. But I do want to say that, like, Inter, what do you think? Is Regieleki the new Dracovish? I feel like it is.
I think it's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm really curious to see whether we'll see it in tournament play. And I hope we do.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty ballsy pick, so people will be
It's definitely I think people are I actually had some opinions as well. People were like, it's a little bit cheesy, but I really don't think.
Yeah, it is cheesy, but I can see someone, because people love to be creative, so I can see someone being like, who cares, and just bringing this and just smoking their opponent.
Yeah,
right?
because dude,
this Zoroark, even that Zoroark, even if that's a weird tech, like, that's still a hard ass tech to beat, right? Like, you still have, like, how do you outplay Zoroark? Like, right? You got to be so. I mean, it's luck to a degree as well, so it's tough.
Yeah.
And it forces a lot of those situational plays. So if you're a player that's like confident in your ability to, like, I don't know, like, tilt the other player with that, then that's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, just like our opponent in that Showdown Live. But
Facts. He couldn't take it. He really couldn't take it. You're right. He was like this cheesy Electro kid. It just keeps beating my ground type.
he had other Pokemon too, but like, I mean, even that, like, in this situation, like, main reason, like, again, we compare it to, like, Dracovish and whatnot, is that you're doing such massive damage to resistances, man. Grass types are not resistances. Opposing electric types are not resistances. Like, you'll knock out Coco with I mean, it's rising voltage.
Probably why they got rid of hidden power.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know if they would have given this Pokemon hidden power, but they might have. They might have.
They would have just given this HPIs, and every team would have had to run Swampert and Hippo.
Yep. As your main ground. I mean, or obviously extra drill. Now, again, I do feel like this mon's gonna get I think it got better because of Genesect ban, but I think that, like, as slowly as Landorus potentially gets banned too, and then we'll maybe see some other mons getting banned. Like, I think we'll start seeing some more sand cores, and we'll see. I think people will start to adapt, but either way, and I feel like there'll be
because drill I haven't even seen too much of right now,
but it's good.
It's hella good. It destroys this mon, obviously.
Yeah.
And drill is still one of those Pokemon that if you give it a free switch, it's scary. It's really scary if you have Corviknight or something.
But what I like about this Pokemon is it keeps players honest. That's what I like about it, man. You ain't gonna run up with your groundless stall. There's no Gliscor. They ain't no.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Bro, even Blissey gets 2 KO with.
It does keep him honest.
Yeah. You gotta really think about it.
It's a cheesy pick, but however, hey, if you're not running a ground type, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Whose fault is that?
That's it, bro.
But we'll see how this guy. We'll see how this guy expects the new meta.
Yeah.
He's fun.
I think he's very fun. But guys, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that Regieleki is the new Dracovish? Me, I'm kind of leaning towards it being so, but more of a cheesy pick than Dracovish is. But I also think it's I think it's cheesy if you were in tournaments, but I think it's legit if you're on the ladder. I don't know. This mon is fire. But yeah, it's all about how you use it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Blender, for joining me, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to him. His channel link will be down below. We did a Showdown Live with Regieleki plus Zoroark. I don't know if that's going up today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, right?
Right, tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, so this video will actually be going up at the same time as that. So this video will most likely be up at 6 p.m. Also, if this video is up at 6 p.m., at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be having a subathon on my Twitch, twitch.tv/pokeaim. So feel free to join us. And yeah, a lot of my friends will be there. We'll see ya. Peace.
Peace.